home of anything other than good Christian magic. My goal here is to help you play better cards, you scrub. Play those cards better than others, and have a good time while others don't, and maybe win a game. A big shout out to those patrons who support me. Jump to Sebastian Wolf on Patreon and show me some love. Patrons get early access to all Deck Tech videos long before they appear on YouTube. Plus there's plenty of other cool stuff there as well. In today's video, we're going to take a closer look at a Pauper commander, one of my favourites, Micromancer. She is the Blue Mage. Now, whilst she doesn't have much going for her when it comes to the actual lore of magic, she was introduced in Dominaria United, she has a lot going for her as a Pauper commander. For 3 and a blue pip, you have a 4 mana casting cost for a 3/3 body. But when she enters, she has this really cool ETB, where you can search your library for an instant or sorcery card with mana value 1, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. The usual stuff. But she is a tutor on a stick, and in mono blue, there are plenty of great 1 mana instants and sorceries for you to tutor for. And I just got to point out, I really and truly love her flavor text. Ideas don't have to be big to be great. And this commander is really, really great. Now, every deck goes through the RageQuitters ranking system of salt factor and rage quit probability. Micromancer, it's Pauper, she's blue, she controls the game. So she's 3 out of 5 salt factor and 2 out of 5 rage quit probability. Now, every deck must have some sort of goal or purpose. So the goal of this deck in Pauper is to cast Micromancer, tutor for a card, counter big threats, remove other threats, and then win with birds or a really cool combo. Now, this is a mono blue commander, so the earliest we can usually get our commander out is in turn 4. It's not aggro. Once she lands, we search for the appropriate spell to help us move to the next stage, which is countering and stalling the game so it runs at our pace. We will control the game thereafter. And then once we have Murmuring Mystic on board, we can amass a massive army of birds to fly over the top of our opponents and win the game. So quickly, let's have a look at some of the sorceries we can get with Micromancer. Stream of Thought, Sleight of Hand, Sleep of the Dead. We can draw Scry with Serum Visions, Rush of Ice, Clutch of Currents. We can index, and we can scry draw with Preordain. That's a pretty good suite of sorcery spells. Well, if you thought that was cool, check out the instants we can get. Brainstorm, Condescend, Dispel, Dream's Grip, Dream Twist, Opt, Otherworldly Gaze, Repeal, Rescue, Shell Cell, Spell Pierce, Stern Dismissal, and Unsummon. We can bounce things, we can counter things, we've got X counter spells, we can draw, scry, we can do a whole bunch of things, including Surveil, making Micromancer such a powerful force in Pauper. Okay, let's use these spells now to set up a way to win the game. Murmuring Mystic. This is the key creature to this deck. We have 13 sorceries, 37 instants. Every time you cast one of these cantrips, Murmuring Mystic will create you a 1/1 blue bird illusion. We can do this multiple times. So this will set up an army for you to then be able to fly over the top of your opponents and win the game. Very powerful. Okay, so now we have an army, and we now need to get it through. But what would a blue deck be without the chance of setting up a combo, even in Pauper? So let's have a look at this combo win. We need to first create infinite mana, and we need 3 cards for that to happen. We need Peregrine Drake to be able to untap some lands. We need Archaeomancer and Ghostly Flicker to be able to set off this chain. And Capsize is the 4th card we need in our hand, which, when we cast, once and we have infinite mana, we'll be able to return every single permanent, including lands, back into your opponent's hands. They will no longer be able to play the game. They will no longer have blockers. And this then presents the win opportunity to the Micromancer deck. Gross, I know, but fun. Whilst this deck is heavy on spells, it is light on creatures, but the creatures we've got are good. We can return spells with Archaeomancer and Mnemonic Wall, loot with Academy Wall, draw with Moldrifter. We can create some disruption by milling our opponents with Merfolk, Secret Keeper, and Shriekgeist. We have a payoff for that mill with Jace's Phantasm, and we can goad our opponent's creatures with Jeering Homunculus. Light on creatures, but the creatures we've got are very good. Card advantage is an area where this deck shines, and some of the key cards in this package I believe, are deep analysis. Behold the Multiverse, because you can foretell that card. We have a couple of nifty little ways to draw more cards for tap creatures and attacking creatures. Treasure Cruise puts 3 in hand. Clear the Mind is anti-mill tech. Catalog and Hieroglyphic Illumination. You can't play the game without cards. This deck always has cards. Now, a mono blue deck is always going to do what a mono blue deck does, which is to say no, just no. So we have Counterspell, Logic Knot, Mana Leak, Negate. We have the works. We have Spell Pierce. We have counterspells up the wazoo. Syncopate, which we can search for with Micromancer herself. Condescend, Unwind, and look, we also have Tormod's Crypt in there to stop our opponents from recurring things from the graveyard. So blue, no. Sorry. The mana base to this deck is very, very basic. We run 28 islands. We run Halimar Depths, so we can actually rearrange the top cards of our library, and a Lonely Sandbar. One of the cards that I have omitted from this deck, and you could possibly put in, is a Mystic Sanctuary. A very, very cool card to be able to recur one of your spells back to your hand in your next card draw, and if Capsize gets lost for the combo, this is a good way of getting it. All right, Rage Quitters, here's the wrap. Micromancer is mono blue control. Let's not take anything away from the fact that this is mono blue control. One of the most solid and consistent archetypes in Pauper EDH. This is great for players who enjoy reactive, spell-dense strategies in Magic. This plays a classic draw go game, land go, island go, which is even scarier, and many of the best blue commons cost 1 mana, so they are also absorbed in this deck. This deck can't win quickly, but it will outlast most of your opponents. Enjoy. All right, if you've made it this far, don't forget, I really do need you to like, subscribe, share, all that jazz, the usual stuff. The link to this deck list will be in the description below, and I look forward to seeing you in the next Deck Tech Rage Quitters video. And as always, Rage Quitters, do not go gentle into that good night. Make your opponents rage against the dying of the light.